It's Sunday. It's Facebook, guys. Namaste. God bless. How are all of you? Yeah, I'm talking to myself again. That's my motto. That's my motto. Happy Sunday to you. Fresh off the double shift. Got some honey in the throat. Keep that voice going. Whatever's going around. Maybe it's the friggin' humidity. I have no idea. But it's really jacked my voice. But getting better. Getting better. Everything's getting clearer. And just for getting clear is getting better. I just received a text from that. Mom is back in the hospital. Mom, prayers to you. I will talk to you soon. Feel better. As far as I know, everything is all good with her. So let's keep the prayer chain going to Mom. Much love to you. And it's Sunday. And I heard a powerful set of words from a psychologist. This guy's been doing it for 6 decades. And he really he didn't come up, but he really noted something real important that we have to realize. And how we use it will determine the outcome in life. Think about what he said. He said the mind records everything. It really does. Every syllable out of your mouth and what you're thinking about, the mind is like a big Xerox copy machine. How you use that in your conscious thoughts every day basically will determine what Dr. Joe Dispenza said in a lecture that he gave a while back, and I featured this. But on that note, you have a choice every day to choose how you want to use your past. You can create a new one, you can learn from it, or you can dwell in it. And that brings up the point of a friend of mine from Facebook. I saw her, I think a year or two ago, in her demise, per se, and just to talk. And so seeing her now, she's creating habits that are breaking her out of that demise. And I love seeing stories like that. And I actually quoted on one of her photos that said, keep on doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is making the mind record better and better and better. Basically, you're getting out of default mode when it comes to thinking. And by having all these new experiences, they're going to dominate your thought process. Therefore, hence, creating new memories, putting all the bad in the storehouse. What I watched before I came on, as I was getting show prep ready, was 8 Mile with Eminem. As I was doing show prep, I had the music on the background. You know, I would glimpse the movie here and there. He's a classic case of taking his pain and turning it into power. We have the choice of either taking our pain, turning it into power, or taking our pain to, how should we say, send our life into a spiral. I did that for many moons. I took my pain as something personal and really hurt myself as a result from it. You don't have to do that. You can go out there and do like she did and create new experiences to override the old experiences, hence creating a new mindset. Or you can do what Eminem did, was he took his pain, took what he loved to do, and incorporated with it and makes a profit from it. We have this choice every day. We have this choice to use our pain to empower us or to, how should we say, disable us. And a lot of us don't get that. They think that the pain that they went through is their lot in life. And no, I can honestly say from my experience, I've used my pain to share with you guys. Not on a personal level about what happened to me, but to understand that you can take your pain and bring it to a quantum level to benefit your life. And if you create new experiences, they're going to override what has happened to you. Hence, you're creating a new thought pattern, which in turn, which is creating a new life pattern. And Socrates said this best. Socrates had an amazing history. This guy was executed for being different. And this is 399 BC when he was put to death. Greek philosopher credited for the founder of Western philosophy. People back then did not like change. I mean, they wanted conformity. The Romans wanted it. That they didn't want anybody jacking their policies, but this guy came out and did it. And after he was put to death, sadly, a little guy called Plato kind of took over and was learning from Socrates during that way. And Plato, in essence, took his teachings and enhanced them even more. But he said some powerful words. The secret, actually Socrates said, the secret to change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but building a new. Indeed, that's what I mentioned in the very beginning with my friend. She basically now is just creating all new experiences to override what has happened to her. And if you keep doing that every day, not doing the same patterns of thought, you're creating a whole new mindset. And on a personal level, for me, it has helped me dramatically, because I knew that if I drove down a different road every day, I'm doing metaphorically now, if I drove down a different road every day and thought, it's eventually going to create a new thought process. And life is going to evolve naturally because I trained myself to think that way. We all have that power. You have that. We all have this power to create whatever we desire, but we have to make the conscious choice every day. Do we want to drive down emotionally the same road where we came from, or do you want to take a new route? We're all at a fork of the road every day to choose the kind of day we want to have, be, or do. But Dr. Joe, oh wait, oh shit, I almost forgot. It's National, this is traumatizing. It's National Beans and Franks Day. I mean, I used to get home from school, and growing up back then, it was a very simple choice for dinner. We had beans and Franks or rice and beans. I mean, protein enriched, processed, yuck. I haven't touched that shit in about 40 years, but Mom did her best. That's what triggered me to talk about Mom, being in the hospital. But yeah, that's what we had for supper some nights back growing up in the poverty-enriched New Haven. But if you guys had a chance to enjoy that, some people actually like that. To me, I couldn't stomach this. I couldn't. It's going to make me gag even thinking about it. I chose, I'll have a piece of bread, Mom. I'm good. I couldn't live on that stuff. But
you've got mail.
All I can say is she did try her best, and God bless her for that. So, getting on to, I'm getting a flashback. Get that paper out of my face. But Dr. Joe, Dr. Joe Dispenza, if you guys can get into his work, I love what he talks about. He underscores exactly what we do every day. I'm at a loss for words, because what he says in his lecture is so powerful that you guys really need to understand what he's saying, because I did this inadvertently. That changed everything for me before I even found this guy. I struggled through the motivation and inspiration, kind of pushed me through the barrier of quantum science, and eventually all this stuff kind of found me later in life, and I said, oh, now I know why, because this makes sense. Dr. Joe Dispenza is on the forefront of neuroscience when it comes to this stuff. And if you realize that if you implement policies like this in your thought process, you're going to realize where you're going. I'll get right to it. It's pretty short. But Dr. Joe said, if you're thinking the same thoughts, then your life should stay the same. That really makes sense. Ponder what he just said. If you're thinking the same thoughts, your life should stay the same. That's called habitual. That this is what we kind of do every day, the conformity of our thought process and whatever we're doing in life. He goes on to say, because the same thoughts always lead to the same choices. The same choices always lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors create the same experiences, and the same experience produce the same feelings. And the same emotions from those same emotions drive the very same thoughts, and your biology, your neurosynchronicity, your neurochemistry, your hormones, and even your genetic expression is equal to how we think, how we act, and how we feel. And how you think, how you act, and how you feel creates your personality. And your personality creates your personal reality. I didn't want to interrupt one single second of that. I wanted you guys to absorb exactly what Dr. Joe was saying. He set forth in those words basically the foundation of creating something out of nothing. I'll make my commentary on it. You guys decide for yourself. If you're thinking the same thoughts every day, you wonder why your life is running in that same direction. It's a simple analogy that few people will underscore in their life because they think that this is where they are, this is who I am. No, this is how you transform. This is how you bring your life to the next level. When you realize what you're thinking about, you realize what you're bringing about. Remember what the psychologist said in the very beginning of the show. The mind records everything. You start recording new thoughts, new thought patterns, new beliefs about yourself, most importantly. Every syllable out of your friggin' mouth should be good about yourself, most importantly. And you start with that, your core self. You work on yourself, on how you feel, how you act, and how you bring about every day. He said the same thoughts always lead to the same choices. Really think about that. Are you making the same choices every day? How do they make you feel? And these are direct questions you've got to ask yourself, because if you jotted down and inventoried just a simple analogy of your thought process every day, you'll realize why your life is the way it is from a scientific level that's creating into a tangible level. This is the epiphany that you guys can have for yourself and realize, wait, I'm just a thought junkie of junk. And if I keep doing this, I'm going to expect the same results in my life. It's when you start thinking, I'm not saying create a banner there, Meatball, and create I am great. No, I'm talking about your inner dialogue on what you say to yourself, because that's a PowerPoint. That's your cell tower. That's what's creating the feelings in your body. Hence, you're emitting out to the universe every single day. The same choices always lead to the same behaviors. I mean, this is why. I mean, I told you guys on many shows that I smoked for 34 years. And I wondered why I couldn't quit. I even went to go see a shrink friggin' 30 years ago. So he goes, no, it's all physical. You're stuck with it. You know, basically. I said, you have medicine? He said, no. All I did with that pattern, even though it was a chemical dependency per se, was change what I did. In other words, my directions every day. I changed my thought process, and then changed my life process. And giving up that day, I gave a eulogy. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm done. And when you start getting to that point in your life, you're not going to think the same anymore. Therefore, you're not going to create the same. So why not install good beliefs, good thoughts, especially about yourself? And it doesn't matter how you feel about yourself right now. What matters is what do you want to create? If you want to create an abundant life, you got to think abundant thoughts, because that starts the hamster wheel of thoughts, behaviors, patterns, beliefs, and everything installed, because the mind records everything. And if you do it enough every day, it becomes, from that unnatural state, you created a natural state and a flow state from that. So hopefully this gives you guys some encouragement, because I mean, believe me, I see it every friggin' day. And like, even the past couple of days, I've been kind of this like morose person. Maybe because of work overload, double shifts. I have no idea. And what Dr. Joe said, it starts as nothing, our thought process. Literally, it's nothing. It's in the aura of who we are. But it eventually goes to the body and every cell of the body. And this is what you guys got to realize for yourself, because your mind it remembers everything. And from that, it gets triggered by your five senses. What you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. So from those senses, you're creating a physicality, which in essence is your energy, which is creating your reality. When you understand that, you'll understand why things are happening in your life. When you realize that everything is energy, and so are we are the conductor of our own energy, you'll be very careful about what you're putting out every day. You'll be very careful about what you're amplifying with your thoughts. You'll get rid of the people that are a nuisance in your life, that don't give you good energy. That was their first rule with me, was understanding that if it doesn't feel right, I'm not going to be around it anymore. No offense to anyone or anything out there, but your energy is your PowerPoint. Protect it at all costs. Protect that mood of yours at all costs. And only install what you want to think about every day. Not that you're in debt, but you're going to be debt-free. Not that you're not good-looking, but you're a beautiful soul who's going to evolve from the inside out into an even beautiful soul. These are the thoughts I'm talking about. This is what you have to amplify with yourself, because it's going to start changing your physicality, literally. And I had that right on my page, and I get redundant saying it all the time. This is not some hairy, fairy, dust fairy shit in the air. This is real evolution of self. We all have the same power. We've just been modified through decades, and probably decades, of people telling us what we can and cannot do. When you take your power back is when you create a better life for yourself. When you make an evaluation of what you're thinking about, you'll realize what you're bringing about. And if you do that every day, the key point is that I get a rush, and this is a great metaphor for you guys. I get a great rush in my videos on some days, and a total nothing on others. That's a thought process. In other words, you're hyped up one day, but then you go down the next. What you have to do, and what I've done, and I still do to this day, is a constant stream. of who I am out there every day, the person I've always wanted to be, the person I'm emitting. It's not up and down days and like, yeah, you might have a day or two like I did the past couple of days, probably because of, 25, 30 hours in the last 2 days. But it really affects your thought process being so exhausted. I can relate to that. But I always know when people are watching if they're really into it or not, because they go up one day and then they go down the next. And when I start seeing stats like that, it intrigues me even more and amplifies me even more to help people realize that the mind records everything. Your life depends on it. You have a choice. Your life depends on it. No matter what you've been through, anything. I mean, look at Eminem. He took all the pain and the shit he went through in his life. He said, wait, I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm going to profit from it. You can profit from your pain as well with your knowledge and wisdom. Most importantly, a better energy to create better opportunities, because clarity is power. When you're thinking with this clarity of a mindset, it's open. Your frontal lobe goes into upper tech, man. It starts jacking out all these ideas for you to do whatever you want to do. So the choice is yours. I mean, think about it for your Sunday. Think about the fact that you have this power. Are you going to use it? You have this ability. Do you want to install it? But you got to keep practicing every day. Make yourself a priority, not in a selfish kind of mindset like that. Selfish is not doing anything like that. It's telling people what to do. You have to understand you got to do what you want to do. And you start implementing that every day with your thought process and practice that. Or you find yourself knocking off kilter. I do it all the time. I jump back into mode when I realize that. And it's helped me tremendously. So really think about where Socrates said, and I'll let you guys enjoy your Sunday. The secret to change is focusing all your energy, not on fighting the old, that old shit that you don't want to think about, but on building a new. So make the conscious choice for yourself. You deserve it. We all deserve it. We all deserve to have a better life. We all deserve not to come here just to be some simpleton and peasant, to work every single day miserable and not doing what we love to do. Granted, I worked my butt off for the past 2 days, but you know what? When you're doing what you love to do, energy comes naturally. It's what you're passionate about every single day. It's what you bring forth every day. Doing this show, not even a flicker. It was awesome. Just getting up, a little bit of nap, doing what I have to do. You find that kind of passion in your life for whatever you're doing, life becomes a lot more fun, guys. So enjoy your Sunday. America's Mentor _radio. The honey held up. The voice held up, man. I'm excited. At America's Mentor on Twitter. Famous for, not Twitter, that's X. Famous for porn and politics. And the hell with that place. Hashtag America's Mentor on YouTube, guys. Much love for the Jackson views. And the subscriptions as I drop my friggin' pen. I'm tired. I'm going back to bed after I eat, guys. Enjoy your Sunday, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon, man.